The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Monday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. As always, brought to you by my good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. And we are going to put that logo in the top right-hand corner for you so you know where to go if you're ever in the market for a new or used vehicle. Boop, right there. Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown is the place to go. They take care of you just like we try to do every day. For them, going the extra mile means taking care of you if you're in the need for a new or used vehicle. For us here at Running Point, it means doing player profiles, coaches' corners, just highlighting the wonderful people in these schools and these communities. Each and every day. We're going to do that today. We have a lacrosse interview to play for you guys from Boardman. It is Jasmine Graham from Boardman. And we heard from the boys lacrosse team live on the show. Right before that show, a couple of Mondays ago, we did the girls lacrosse team as well. All those profiles are posted on the website, but wanted to give them their time on the show as well. So we will start that with today, and we'll do Jasmine Graham. We also have a very busy show because not only do we have to go through all the scores from the weekend and hop into the scoreboard on the website, but we also have brackets out for the softball tournament, seeds and brackets. What we're going to do today is we're just going to go over them, right? We're just going to go over the seeds, show you the brackets. When we come back on Friday, as we prepare for the sectional tournament to start on Saturday the 4th, then we will kind of break down these brackets a little bit more and dive into matchups and what will look good and what some of these matchups look like, what some of these roads to the state championship look like. So we'll break that down a little bit more on Friday. Obviously, we only have an hour, right? So we can only do so much. So today is just going to be looking at it and break it, like just going through the seeds and going through the brackets. It's all we're doing today, showing you where your favorite team's going to be placed, where they'll be playing, who they'll be playing, that kind of good stuff. Then we'll come back on Friday in our show that's prepping for the start of the tournament. We'll break down the matchups. We'll talk about what matchups look like the best and all that fun stuff. So all of that's going to be this week. We're excited for postseason to be starting and can't believe it's already here. Saturday is when softball starts. Sunday we'll have the baseball draw. And then next Monday we'll do the same thing that we're doing today, except with the baseball tournament. And it's a cycle, right? So going to be a fun time. This is the last real week of the regular season for softball, but I am sure that there will be some games fit in between tournament games because we've had a lot of rainouts this spring. So although this is the last week of the regular season before tournaments, like I said, I think there will still be some regular season action squeezed between tournament games probably to make up for the rainouts that we've had this year. But first, before all that, we have to go into the scoreboard. We have to see what went on since the last time we talked on Friday. Obviously, over the weekend, a lot happened, so let's go over it. Here is your scoreboard on ysnlive.com. Going to put it full screen so you can see it without my face in your way. YSN Scoreboard is brought to you by Burnett Pool, Spas, and Hot Tubs. It is a great tool for our fans. Whether you are at one of our games or watching one of our broadcasts, either way, you don't want to look away from the action for too long. And the YSN scoreboard is a great and easy way to get updated scores from your favorite YSN teams across the YSN family. We have a great team behind the scenes that makes sure that these scores are as live updated as possible, and they are able to do so because of our good friends over at Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Summer is coming really quick. It's a good time to go check out your pools. Friday, April 26th, we go back in time a little bit to check out these scores, and we start in Ashtabula County. Jefferson and Grand Valley meeting up with each other. It's an all YSN matchup. The Grand Valley wins by a run, 6-5. Salem and Struthers doing battle on Friday, and it's all Salem in this one, 10-0. Their offense too much for the Wildcats. McDonald and Waterloo into high scoring affair with a final score of 14-7. 14-8. I'm sorry. McDonald gets the win. Ursuline falls to Uniontown Lake on Friday, 7-3, your final score there. And then they come back and they win over Uniontown Lake as part of a doubleheader, 7-1. So they split that doubleheader with the blue streak. Conneaut and Edgewood getting the big win, 12-4 in game one. In game two for those two teams, we saw Edgewood get the win, 14-4. Beaver Local played Weirton and lost to them, 10-6. Final score there. Girard and Howland squaring off with each other, and Howland gets the win, 3-1 over the Indians. Heartland Christian and Jackson Milton, and the Lions get the win on this one, 14-8. The final score there. Columbiana takes care of Latonia, 10-0. It was 14-6 for Jackson Milton. I apologize there. Garrettsville Garfield wins 24-0 over Liberty. Lisbon is all over East with a final score of 10-0. Powhatan Valley beats Lordstown 17-5. United beats Minerva 10-7. Wellsville and Southern Local meeting in the EOAC, and it's Southern that gets the win 13-1 over the Tigers. We see Western Reserve and LeBray did not get done. East Liverpool loses to Wheeling Park 11-1. Despite getting a run, East Liverpool got no hit in that game, unfortunately. We have Wellsville beating Southern 2-1 in game two of that doubleheader. Champion fell to Newcastle 4-0. Canfield beats Marlington by a run 3-2, and Camel beats Cheney by a run, same score 3-2. We go off into the softball page as Struthers beats Cheney by a run 8-7. Elyria Catholic beats Hoban 14-7. Ashley Beulah St. John able to get the win over Lakeside 10-5. The final score there. Columbiana all over Boardman on the road 10-1. Clippers look good in that one. Conneaut falls to Grand Valley 9-8, one-run affair. Howland is all over Girard 12-2. The final score. LeBray beats Garrettsville Garfield 7-2, and Orange and Kirtland did not report a score. We go into Lisbon and East, a high-scoring game, but Lisbon wins 22-19. Camel and Lowville did not report a score. Waterloo gets beat by McDonald 17-4. We have Hubbard and Ursuline in a really good game, but Ursuline gets to win 7-6. Badger beats Fairport Harding 15-3. Lisbon able to beat East 10-0. West Branch able to take care of the Lake Blue Streaks 12-8. The final score there. Jackson Milton wins a doubleheader against Sebring 15-1, 15-0. The score of those two games, and then Southeast beats Liberty 10-1. Let's hop into Saturday's scoreboard. On the baseball side of things, Edgewood and Grand Valley. Edgewood gets the win 3-1 on that. Maplewood and St. John did not report a score. Newton Falls beats Western Reserve 17-2. Some games on Saturday did get canceled because of the rain we had overnight on Friday into the morning on Saturday. Orange was not one of those games that got canceled as VASJ wins 20-7. Boardman falls to Poland in a really good baseball game. Poland takes the late lead 3-2. West Branch beats Field 10-4. LeBray and Struthers was canceled, so was Lake Lisbon Lowville. Ursuline beats Columbiana 12-0. Maplewood beats St. John. Edgewood is able to not play against Grand Valley. Girard and Crestview was canceled as well. Salem falls to Cardinal 2-1. Bel Air beats Beaver Local 7-3. Garrettsville Garfield beats Liberty 13-1. On the softball side of things on Saturday, we saw Poland beat Sharpsville 8-1 as part of the doubleheader there. They also beat Howland. Looking to see that one on the scoreboard. There it is down at the bottom. They beat Howland 3-0. Back to the top is Lakeview and Boardman was canceled. That whole triple header at Boardman was canceled. So was Ursuline and Stowe. Lisbon and United was canceled. The West Middlesex and Conneaut canceled. St. John and Maplewood canceled. Champion played Steele in the Priebus Invitational. Lost that game 11-1. That was their second game of the day. They also lost to Whitmer 3-2 in their first game of the day. Crestview got the win over Newton Falls 12-0. Howland and Sharpsville did not play each other at Poland. They only got 2 games in on that one. Canfield loses to Triway 2-0, bounced back and beats the Triway in the second game 13-12. The first one was a matchup between the two state powerhouse pitchers and Melena Toth and Carter Wachtel. And then the second game, both teams kind of threw their bullpens, and that's why you see the drastic contrast in scores there. Dover beats West Branch 10-0, the final score there. Matthews beats Hoban 13-2. Hoban does bounce back, gets the win over Evergreen 11-4. And like I said, Champion lost their first game of the day up in LaGrange 3-2. Not on the scoreboard, but did also happen in the previous. South Range played 3 games up there in LaGrange. They were able to secure a victory to start off the weekend on Friday night as they beat hold on, I'm getting it up. South Range was able to beat Holland Springfield 10-8 on Friday. They came back on that night and played late into the night in a 10-inning game, lost 14-11 to North Ridgeville. And then they came back on Saturday, a quick turnaround, and beat Notre Dame Academy 12-1. So South Range was also in that pre-biz tournament down there at LaGrange with Champion was there as well. So in Hoban. So South Range goes 2-1 on the weekend. So now that we went through the scoreboard pretty quickly, what we're going to do is we're going to range over to tournament time and talk about that. We're going to take the scoreboard off your screen and then share a new screen, right? So this is what we have to do. Go here. And we'll bring up this one. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to the Northeast District Database, which is going to give you the same thing that you'll get if you go to the OHSA website, but I always feel like, oh, I just closed it. Oh, no. Well, here we go. Bear with me. I meant to click on the tab, and I absolutely hit that little X. So, user error, right? NED. All right. We're going to get this right back. All right. Got the page up. Now I have to go back and share it again. Welcome to live web streaming. Anything can happen on a live web show. All right. We are just about set. We're not going to hit the X button again. We're going to bring it up. All right, here we go. Northeast District database, I find it a little bit easier to navigate this one when we're in districts. Obviously, you have to go to the big state website when we're in regionals, but for now, I just find this one a little bit easier. Plus, you can get to the seedings really easy too. Can also, if you're interested, you can go to this website. You can see how everybody voted. I'm not going to get into that because it's a lot to get into, but they do have the results here publicly, so you can see how everyone in the district voted for each team. So here is your Division One East District seeding. Austintown Fitch gets the 1 seed, 11-1 on the year. Then it's Walsh Jesuit at 10-0, Louisville 15-7, Hoover 10-3, Eastlake North 12-5. Then you have Chardon at 10-5, Mentor at 12-6, Riverside at 10-8, Maslin Perry at 9-6, Boardman's at 8-7, Maslin Jackson at 9-7, Willoughby South is at 8-5, Glen Oak 6-3, Hoban is at 8-8 on the year. They are the 14 seed. Ellett is right behind them, 10-4. Lake is 5-4. Cuyahoga Falls 7-5. Green 3-7. Solon 6-4. NDCL is 6-8. Stowe Monroe Falls 5-6. You have Madison at 5-4. Nordonia at 5-11. Washington at 3-9. Alliance at 5-12. Twinsburg at 3-10. Harding at 4-6. Hudson at 2-7. Roosevelt 2-10. Mayfield at 2-15. Brush at 3-4. Canton McKinley at 0-6. Cleveland Central, Cleveland JFK 2-2. Ashtabula Lakeside's 0-8, and then you have Kenmore Garfield, who did not, didn't report a record, so they're the last seed. So there you go. Our YSN teams, obviously Austintown Fitch, the 1 seed, the reigning state champions. They're shown a lot of respect in the district, but Walsh probably wishes that the results from the weekend were valid because they just beat Anthony Wayne, who a lot of people think will be in the state championship, possibly against Austintown Fitch this year. But they beat them 1-0 over the weekend. So I think Walsh Jesuit, it's a coin toss, honestly, between 1 and 2. YSN fans, we're all happy that Austintown Fitch is the 1 seed, but Walsh is a very good team as well. And then you have Louisville and YSN rep at number 3. But obviously, we don't have a lot. I keep saying obviously today. We don't have a lot of Division I teams. So after Louisville, we have Boardman down there. And we have Hoban sitting at 14. And that does it for Division I. So we don't have as much to go through in D1. What we are going to do is we're going to go into the brackets, though, and show you where every team is. We'll just go bracket by bracket and see what's going on. In the East 1, you see Hoover. They'll wait the winner of Warren Harding and Hudson as the top line. Then you have Eastlake North. They'll wait the winner of Cleveland JFK and Mentor. Louisville is right here in this district. They will play the winner of Kent Roosevelt and Nordonia. And then you have Paynesville Riverside at the bottom of the bracket. They will play the winner of Maslin Perry and Lakeside. Like basketball and volleyball and every other sport except for football, these kind of district first round games will be at the host sites. Actually, football's like that now too. So, obviously, I just keep saying obviously, dang. Hoover hosting that one. Then the district for this East 1, where we find Louisville as a YSN school. This one will be in the Mentor district. So district winners will go to Mentor. If Louisville is able to get past their sectional final, they will play in Mentor. Those district games will be on May 13th in Mentor for the district semifinals, and the district championship will be on May 15th. So let's go into the next Division I bracket. Which is East 2. This is the bracket that will be played at YSU. So this is the YSU district. Austintown Fitch is the top seed. They're on the top line right there. You see Brush and Mayfield are the teams that they await. The bottom half of this one is going to be Madison against either Massillon, Washington, and Green. You have Chardon down here against Stowe Monroe Falls or Cuyahoga Falls. And then you have Canton Glen Oak at the bottom. They await the winner of Ellett and Solon. Once again, this district going to be held at YSU. The district semifinals will be on May 13th, and the district championship, just like the Mentor district, will be on May 15th. The tournament starts on May 6th for Division 1. That is Monday for everyone out there wondering. So now we just have one more YSN team, two more YSN teams to find, Hoban and Boardman. As we go into East 3, I imagine they're going to be in this one because I don't think they'll go into West. Walsh Jesuit is the top line in the bracket. In this one, they await the winner of Alliance and Canton McKinley. Sectional final already set on the bottom half of this is Hoban will play in DCL. Then you go to the bottom line. Massillon Jackson awaits the winner of Willoughby South and Kenmore Garfield. And then you have Boardman having the bye as the 10th seed. They await the winner of Uniontown Lake and Twinsburg. That'll be on May 8th. This, once again, bracket starts on May 6th. And just like everything else, the district will be on May 13th. This district will be held at Massillon, Washington. They host some regionals as well. So a very busy softball season for the people down there in Massillon, as they will host the district for Division 1 East 3. So those are all of our Division 1 teams and how the seedings went. Let's go into the seedings of Division 2. Once again, if you go to this website, you can see how everybody voted. If you want to see how everyone kind of voted for the district. And now we go into the seedings for the district. Aurora gets the 1 seed. Is they're undefeated 14-0. Canfield is the 2 seed, the reigning state runners-up, given the 2. Marlington, always good, the 3. Then you have Field, Howland, Perry, West Branch, Gilmore Academy. After that, you have Kenston, Ursuline, Hubbard, West Geauga, Edgewood, Jefferson, Geneva, Conneaut, Salem, Crestwood, Harvey, Cheney. Then down there you have Girard, Struthers, Ravenna, East, and Niles to round out Division 2. Now that we know the seedings, let's go to the brackets and see where these teams align. Drink break. All right, here we go. Division 2, East 1. Top line of the bracket in this East 1 is Aurora, the 1 seed. They await the winner of Salem and Harvey. Then you have down here West Branch and Niles will play the winner of West Geauga and Edgewood. Howland is in this bracket. They are the 5 seed. They have Ursuline and Girard playing each other for the chance to play them. Mogador Field, the bottom half of the bracket, with Jefferson and Struthers trying to earn a chance to play them. This district will be held at Jefferson. And this sectional starts on May 7th. Districts will be on May 14th for the semifinals, and the district championship, that can't be right, will also be on May 14th. They're not going to make these teams play twice. Those dates have to be wrong. Look on the calendar. See what. Let's see. May 14th is a Tuesday, so probably Tuesday, Thursday. I would say the 16th, probably. As you can see right there, there's a little bit of a typo in the bracket having them both the 14th, but I assume the championship would be the 16th if the semifinals are the 14th. It's 2 days after. You give a 1 day hiatus there. But we'll try to get confirmation on that. Maybe the other brackets won't have the typo, and that'll, because usually Division 2 will all stay the same. So we go in East 2. This is Canfield's district, and it will be played at Hubbard. 14th. Yep, 14th, and you can see this one's right, 14th and 16th. Just a little typo on that last bracket with the district championship and the semifinals both being played on the same day. Canfield, the top line in the bracket, they await the winner of Geneva and Cheney. You have the second half of the top end. Kenston were there with a bye. They await the winner of Hubbard and East. Marlington in the bottom, the 2 versus 3. That's interesting. If numbers play out, they'll await the winners of Conneaut and Crestwood. And in the bottom is Perry. They await the winner of Ravenna and Gilmore Academy. Just like the last district, this one's starting on the 7th with the sectional semifinals. Now we go into... Well, actually, that was the last of each bracket, so we should have hit everybody in Division 2, although we still have to see... I want to try to find Beaver Local. It's Liverpool. Not in that one. Not in that one. Huh. Well, I will work on finding East Liverpool and Beaver Local and report back to you when I can. They're probably not in the Northeast District. They're probably in the East District overall for the state. So you probably have to go into the state website to see that now that I'm thinking about it. But we'll just go into Division 3 and get updates on East Liverpool and Beaver Local when we can. So let's go into Division 3 and see the seedings for Northeast District in Division 3. It looks like this. Champion gets the 1, then South Range, then Columbiana, Lakeview, LeBray, United Pymatuning Valley, Wycliffe, Poland, right behind Wycliffe. Then you have Rootstown, Southeast, Canton South, Garfield, Liberty, Crestview, Berkshire, Beechwood, Camel, Brookfield, Mooney, Kirtland, St. Joe's, and Lake Catholic. These records were posted before the weekend, so obviously again, geez. Champion is now not undefeated. They lost 3 times at the end of the week to Fitch and Whitmer and Steele, so they are now 11-3, I'm sorry. So those records are different. South Range's record is different. All these records are a little bit different. They were turned in, I believe, on Wednesday night. So now let's go into the brackets of Division 3. I think I have enough time to do this and then grab Division 4 and then take a break. I think I'll be able to squeeze this in. Bracket in Division 3. First one is the South Range District. And shocker there, South Range is in it. They're the top line. They will await the winner of Canton South and Brookfield. Why wouldn't South Range pick the bracket that they host? Some teams actually don't. Like in basketball, for some reason, they're not in the district that they host, and I'm like, well, that's silly. If you're hosting a district and you're in it, why would you want to play at home? United down there on the bottom line. So if numbers play out, they would play South Range in the district semis. They await the winner though of VASJ and Poland. Bottom line of the bracket, you have Columbiana. They will play the winner of Wycliffe and Garrettsville Garfield, and Rootstown will play the winner of Pymachuning Valley and Kirtland. I will say, from a fan that has dealt with Kirtland a long time for Ysn schools, it is nice to see them towards the bottom of the seating in something. No offense to Kirtland out there, but kind of sucks to keep losing to you. Here's East 2, the LeBray District in Division 3. Warren Champion gets the 1 seed. They'll stay in Trumbull County. It just makes sense, right? For Champion to go to LeBray and South Range to stay in South Range. These were one of the decisions that did not have people on the edge of their seat. They'll play the winner of Camel and Mooney. You have Beechwood and Berkshire. They already have a bye, so they're right there. Lakeview will await the winner of Liberty and Crestview. Interesting because Lakeview and Champion play each other on Thursday. And if the numbers play out, that would be a preview of the district championship, 1 versus 4 here. Southeast will have a bye and have the winner of LeBray and Mineral Lake Catholic. Now, LeBray will have something to say about that. They are the 5 seed. And if numbers play out, they would play Lakeview in the semifinals. Should be a very interesting district, especially once we see how the results go on Thursday. This sectional starts on the 7th, and the district semifinals will be on the 14th and 16th, just like Division 2. All right, so now we just go to D4, and we have the seedings for D4 right here. And it looks like this. In Division 4, Matthews gets the 1, Mogador the 2, Middle Ridge the 3, McDonald the 4, Western Reserve the 5. That's a shocker that McDonald got below Middle Ridge because they beat Middle Ridge twice. It's interesting. That is interesting. Western Reserve right below them. Chalker, then Maplewood, then Jackson Milton, then Cardinal, then East Canton, and then you have Southern, Rittman, Canton Central Catholic, East Palestine, Badger, Ashtabula St. John, Open Door Christian, Lowville, Wyndham, Newton Falls, Bristol, down towards the bottom, Fairport, Harding, Grand Valley, Sebring, Warren JFK, Lake Center Catholic, Springfield, Lisbon, Oberlin, Wellsville, Andrews Osborne, Bloomfield, Lordstown, Kidron Central Christian, Latonia, and then Medina Christian Academy down there in the bottom. So let's see where these teams are going in the district brackets. Seedings are interesting. Will the brackets be just as interesting? This is my first look at them too, so I wanted to be reacting along with everyone that hasn't seen them. So I have not looked at them before today. You have Matthews as the 1 in the top seed of this district. It will be held at Jackson Milton. They await the winner of Springfield and Wellsville. East Palestine, the bottom half of the top end of the bracket. They will await the winner of Lordstown and Badger. You have Maplewood with the bye. They await the winner of Bristol and Andrews Osborne. In the bottom of the bracket, you have Middle Ridge, the 3 seed. They await the winner of Lowville against Lisbon. This sectional starts on May 6th. The district semis are on the 13th and the 15th. So a little bit staggered from Division 3, which is good for media because that means we don't have to pick and choose. The only games on the same days are, I believe, Divisions 2 and 3. Divisions 1 and 4 are on different days from each other, if I remember correctly. McDonald gets the bye in this district, which will be the Badger district up in Kinsman. They await the winner of Fairport, Harding, and Bloomfield. Jackson Milton has the first round bye. They await the winner of Middlefield Cardinal and Latonia. You have Canton Central Catholic with a bye. They await the winner of Ashtabula St. John and Sebring. Western Reserve right there. They await the winner of Wyndham and Kidron Central Christian. Then you go into the last D4 bracket. And the top end is Mogador. They await the winner of Medina Christian and Oberlin. Then you have Elyria Christian, the bye. They await the winner of Lake Center Christian and Grand Valley. East Canton has a bye. They await the winner of Rittman and Southern. And then the bottom of the bracket, you have Chalker with the bye waiting Newton Falls versus Warren JFK. Same dates for this bracket, which will be held in Dalton. So the Dalton bracket looks like that. That does it for the bracket breakdown. We went through divisions 1 and 4. Like I said, we'll come back. Well, actually, I think we can come back on. We'll probably keep it on Friday because Monday is going to be doing all this for the baseball side of things. But none of our teams are going to be playing on the 4th, which is the official start date for sectionals in the state. So none of our districts, or I should say sectionals, start on May 4th. So, but I think we'll still keep the tournament breakdown day for Running Point on Friday, just to save time, since on Monday we have to do this for baseball, break down the brackets and the seating. Very interesting, though. Very interesting. I can't wait. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, Beaver, they're East 1, so they're not even in the Northeast. It took me a minute for my brain to process that, but once I got there, I was like, okay, they're not going to be in the Northeast database, right? So that they will be in the East brackets, and they'll be on the OHSA website. I don't know if the East District has their own database website or not, but we'll find them, and we'll get you updated on where they'll be and where you can see them playing postseason play. We're going to take a break right now. We're going to take a commercial break. Be back with a girls lacrosse interview from Boardman Jasmine Graham. That's coming up next on Running Point. Brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by our good friends that you just heard from, Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. They are also the sponsors of the next player profile that we're going to play. Jasmine Graham from Boardman Girls Lacrosse, one of their captains, had the chance to talk with her last week, and going to enjoy this interview. Anthony Herwig here with a Boardman Girls Lacrosse player profile. We are joined by senior Jasmine Graham. Jasmine, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for the time.
You got it. You know, it's senior year, and the things that we always ask seniors, first off and foremost, what's it like going through a senior season and going through all the emotions that senior year brings, knowing it's the last time you're doing it?
Definitely more emotional. A lot of times, like, no matter what the outcome of the game is, every single game it matters a little bit more because it is the last time, maybe the last time we play this school or the last time I'm with the team. Or, I mean, especially this season, we've had a lot of cancellations and it's been a little bit more difficult. So it matters just a bit more, I think.
Yeah, you know, senior year, you also get a little bit reflective on the career and on the journey. Let's talk about your lacrosse journey, where it started, how you got into the sport, and where you started to really fall in love with it.
So kind of unsimilar to everyone else, I started just last year. It was my first year. I got inspired because my cousin began playing. She lives in North Carolina, and my sister decided to play. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try. I know some people that play. So I began last year, and it was kind of nice. I'd been playing volleyball for a couple years, and it was kind of nice to start something brand new, kind of have to pick up the skills. It took a lot of work to kind of catch up to everyone, but I kind of fell in love with that drive to kind of get to where everyone else was, because it was a motivation pretty much to have these older people, even the younger players who had so much more experience than I did, to learn from them, the coaching, a whole new sport. I think that was what drove me to continue. Was there was so much to learn that even if I only got 2 years out of it, or even the year I had last year, it was enough to keep me going.
How does senior year in lacrosse compare to senior year in volleyball, and going through the same thing, but different emotions, different things going on?
It's a little different because with volleyball, those girls I've been with since middle school. So on that side, it was definitely more emotional in terms of we were no longer going to play together, and it was kind of a program that was well oiled in terms of been going on for a few years. For lacrosse, it's a little less on the. It is still emotional, but I wish I almost had more time. I got a ton of time with volleyball, and lacrosse I only get these 2 years, and it's bittersweet because I want to keep going, but these girls are lovely.
When I look at the extracurricular activities that Mrs. Bird shared with us in preparation for this interview, everything. I mean, you're involved in so much in the Boardman school system, whether it be, the future leaders, whether it be a National Honor Society, Ling Club. I mean, you go on and on. What makes you so proud to be involved in so much at Boardman?
I think it's definitely getting to know other people, like having different circles and different interests to be like around, because it's very different going from playing sports versus like academic clubs such as speech and debate. You kind of just get introduced to so many different people and so many different experiences that I would not have without all those extracurriculars. So it's definitely an experience to just be around different people that kind of makes it very enjoyable to be in so much, even if it's time consuming.
Speech and debate might not be physical competition, but it is still competitive. How much of that drive from your, volleyball and lacrosse competitiveness do you take into speech and debate?
Oh, a hefty amount. I'm very competitive in that. It's a lot more mental, but I think that drive is still, like you said, it's still there. It's still competitive. So it just gives my body a break, but allows my mind to kind of get that work. And that competitiveness is definitely still there.
I'll tell you, your body gets a little bit of a break, but with all this stuff, your mind never gets a break. The big question is, how do you juggle all of this? You're involved in so much. You play 2 sports. How do you juggle it all?
I think what's important is saving a little bit of time whenever I have off, either if I need a day to myself or I want to hang out with friends, just to do it. I know a lot of times people it's stressful. It is, especially with schoolwork, but I think whatever I need at that moment, I'm not going to push myself too far. So if I do feel like I need a day off, instead of going out with friends, I'll take a day off. Or if I want to go out with my friends, go out to eat, anything like that, or hang out at a house, I think choosing to do whatever I feel is best in that moment's really kept me going, because it is a lot to do some sports and have school to still worry about. But really listening to myself is probably the biggest thing that's allowed me to, stay consistent.
If doing sports and all the extracurricular activities wasn't impressive enough for people listening, you're also killing it in the classroom. 4.0 GPA. Obviously, that takes a lot of work to be able to get to that point. How proud are you that you're, ready to finish your senior year holding that perfect GPA?
It's nice to have that effort pay off. I love education. I like to learn. I like, especially the programs we offer at Boardman High School. They're phenomenal. The classes, the teachers. So I think ending my entire career with a 4.0 is definitely like, it pays off. It feels good to like know what my effort that I put in did pay off. But also, I'm glad to just have teachers that helped me get there because, like I said, these programs here are they're incredible, and they've definitely helped me reach this point.
What was the hardest class that you've had to keep that 4.0 GPA in?
Love the teacher so much, but it was definitely Mrs. Berkey's AP chemistry class. That one, you had to be okay with getting lower grades on the tests and still being okay with the end grade. The tests were not the easiest.
It's not a knock to say your class was hard, Yeah, that might be a compliment to some of these teachers. Hey, your class was difficult. When you think of the final stretch, when I imagine a 4.0 GPA is like getting close to the finish line in running, or, getting close to that last fifth set in volleyball. What was the final stretch like, realizing that you're so close to a 4.0 GPA this year, maybe going into senior year, but also realizing you still had that little bit of work ahead?
It's definitely a battle with that senioritis. I never realized how, when everyone talked about it last year, the seniors from last year, like, oh, senioritis is real. It is. And I think having that 4.0 or having these academics what kind of like drove me to keep it going. I didn't want to lose it with that little bit of time I had left, because it is a struggle too to know we're so close to finishing and we only have this small amount. But I think what drove me is all that work I did put in. I didn't want it to just, go to waste or something to happen. So it kind of keeps me going in terms of staying on top of my academics as well as my extracurriculars.
Let's talk about future plans, things you want to do after high school. I know you're undecided on colleges so far. You have a couple that you're obviously mulling over, but when you're going to make that decision, what do you think would be the key factors? What are you trying to really get out of your future when you graduate from Boardman?
So obviously my major matters. I am looking into psychology on a pre-law track. I would love to go to good like law school in the future, but definitely for undergrad is club involvement. I want to keep that involvement I have in high school into my college career. So any type of volunteering, a speech debate team, any of those clubs similar to what I do now that can keep me involved with several groups of people in college, which would be even vast compared to what we have at Boardman because of how many different people go into college, like the scene. So I would like any school that offers, and I hope in my future, that offers a big amount of extracurriculars or just club involvement or anything with student involvement or teacher involvement that I can be a part of.
You're locked into that career path, psychology with a pre-law track. What got you involved in that? What made you want that to be the career path you go down?
So it actually started freshman year. We read a book called Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson. This was in Safaric's English class. And it talked a lot about like the incarceration and unjust kind of the legal system being unjust. And I kind of got that sparked my interest in understanding, like what's wrong with our legal system. So I wanted to always do law for a long time. And then it was just last year I took AP psychology with Mrs. Blaze. And that class kind of, sparked a little bit of interest in learning why we do things, the reason for it, that reason for it, the brain makeup, and how that kind of affects the decisions we make. So I kind of wanted to tie in learning why people do things and how that can help fix our legal system.
All right, Jasmine, we want to give you the time before we let you go to take the light off yourself and shine it on the people in your life that support you and that mean the world to you. So want to give you the time to send out your shout outs, as many as you want to give.
Oh, as many as I want to give. I want to start first with my mother. My mother's been my biggest supporter. I love my mother so much. She's been every game. She goes to every lacrosse game, all my volleyball games, all my club games. My dad comes when he can, and I'm so thankful for him as well. He works, so it's a little bit more difficult. So I shout out to both of them. Love them so much. I also want to give a shout out to all the coaches I've had, which Mrs. Birch is one of them, and all my volleyball coaches who have also been a part of my life, who've brought me to not only play volleyball, but then also my lacrosse coaches who have basically just sparked my interest in this and willing to continue to play, hopefully collegiately if I can. And it, these opportunities that they give me to help me learn. Obviously, all my teammates I can't take too long to list every single one of them, but all of them, they deserve all the love. They've really helped me continue to play sports even when I felt at my lowest. So I give a big thank you to them as well. I would love to list names, but obviously that would take too long.
Yeah, we're not the Oscars. We're not going to cut you off, which is a good thing. Jasmine, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it so much. We look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Of course. Thank you.
That was Jasmine Graham from Boardman Girls Lacrosse. We thank her for her time. And every time we interview a Boardman athlete, I just want to give a special shout out to Alyssa Birch, who helps us set it all up, lets us use her room with the beautiful Boardman backdrop, of course. And she's like the SID for Boardman. And I wish every high school had one. I always joke with her, like, I wish we could just take you from Boardman, hire you for YSN, and you can set up all of our interviews, because she does a wonderful job getting us Boardman athletes and making sure they have a good place to do the interview, and they're all set up and squared, and gets us information on them. And always just a pleasure working with her. So I always want to give a special shout out to Mrs. Birch when we do player profiles with Boardman High School. Always a good time. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode of Running Point, though. We want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it. We want to thank, obviously, Jasmine for her time giving us that player profile. If you missed it, want to see it in its entirety, it can be seen on our YSN YouTube page or the website on ysnlive.com. Make sure to go check that out and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. It helps us out with the algorithm, helps us get to more people if we have more subscribers. If you like the videos you see, hit the like button and also the notification bell if you're already subscribed. That way you never miss a minute of the video content that we put out there on our YouTube page. We are updating it every day, whether it be coaches' corners, player profiles, post-game interviews, game highlights, all that fun stuff, all on our YouTube page. So make sure to check it out. I'll be back tomorrow with a rundown of today's results and a lot of other fun stuff. Don't go anywhere on YSN. Check out the games tonight, ysnlive.com/live. Enjoy the beautiful weather, everybody. I know I will. I'll be out at Columbiana United. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow.